Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Acapella Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip-hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Acapella, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out acapella.com. That's AKEPELE.com. Peace, y'all. It's your guy, DJ Klyph, man. We back at it again. This is part 2 of the episode of Klyph Notes featuring Jumbo, a.k.a. Dr.ama. So in part 1, man, you had an opportunity to hear a lot of the history, how we came up in the Portland scene. A lot of dope information, man. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out anywhere you get your podcast from, man. Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitchers, everywhere, man. But in part 2, Jumbo really goes in, man. He goes in more in the business of music, talks about what he's been working on, and he really, he drops some jewels, man. So if you are a fan of what he does, you definitely want to hear what is coming. If you are a fan or just a part of the music industry, you definitely want to hear what he's dropping, man, because jewels to be heard for real. So this is part 2, Klyph Notes featuring Jumbo. So from the again, the perspective of someone initially who is an outsider, to me, the thing that I captured when I first heard the music, but then saw the performance, and then saw any of the visuals, whether it was photos or whatever, was that you had it together. Yeah. And that probably simplifies it too much. No, not but at that all. Sense of not at all. Like what you just described is having it together. Like we worked on every aspect of what we're doing, so that when we're presenting it, it's whole. Yeah. We just thought like that. Yeah. It wasn't. It didn't take meetings. Yeah. We wasn't whiteboarding nothing. Yeah. We would just be like, the verse would be like, Jay, what we doing? Yeah. We on some we doing abstract. Yeah. We on some jazz, whatever. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we doing that? Yeah, all right, bet. Yeah. Yeah. Or sometimes it would just be unspoken. What you feeling? Yeah. Woo! Okay. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Or we would talk about, or somebody would go through something. We lost a loved one. Yeah. Or just whatever cats was going through. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would just talk about that, and it would manifest itself in, if you look at some of those images, you could see, an array of emotions. You know what I mean? You could see anger, you could see frustration, you could see celebration, you could see the outlet. You could also see the city. Like, okay, we know we from a small, we had a chip on our shoulder, but we also saw another city who was so much on this. You gonna respect us? Right. Y'all think we ain't got? You gonna respect us? And we was like, we don't. If we do that, we never getting out of here. Yeah. And then we also saw like a group like the Roots, right? They clearly got love in Philly before they left. Right. But by the time we had discovered them, I would say we just assumed that because they was traveling band, they was getting respect outside of the city. So, memories of Gil Scott talking about it, home is where the hatred is. Like, oh, you got to leave. And then if they, the city already love you and you don't want to burn, you don't want to wear them out because like with certain clubs or, you can't really do a lot of shows here because after a while, after 200 come, it turned to 20 real quick. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So we didn't want to burn out what we was doing. We was like, okay, we gotta grow it, we gotta elevate it, we gotta build the fan base. Again, 0 social media. Right. 0 music released except for a cassette. Yeah. Right? Yeah. We gotta get on the road.
Yeah.
You know, it was that old mentality of like blues, jazz, and soul music.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta hit
That's
the chit. You gotta.
what you do.
What does a chitlin circuit look like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, again, to those days of doing, you know, going, you know, playing at the club, doing house parties. That's similar to building a tour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on, you know, 25th and Deacon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be over on I'm gonna be over on Gattenbine. I'm gonna be, you know, deep in the north. I'm gonna be downtown playing the mayor's ball, whatever. That turned into like, oh, that's what touring is like.
Yeah.
All right. And so and we decided, you know, we just started plotting those things because we knew that once we did that, we could basically, our city would basically champion us and be like, those are our heroes. Yeah. Those are our, you know, for the culture. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and put them on our shoulders and say, yeah, these are the ones. Yeah. And not to say these, you know, for some it was like these are the best ones. For others it was just like, I hate them. Yeah. But you cannot front on how nice these cats are. Right. And it was just like, yo, you know what? I would battle y'all. I hate y'all. Yeah. But I love the fact that y'all kicking doors down for all of us. Respect.
Do you think that that's a mindset or a thought process that in Portland at least? Well, so let's say this. I'm gonna jump around a little bit.
Sure.
So you're based in the Bay now.
Yeah.
So you hear a lot, but being based in the Bay, it allows you to see Portland from a little bit of a distance now.
Yeah.
Do you think that mindset of this is the one that we're pushing for the city, do you think it still exists, or do you think that that there's more of a sense of I'm about me and I'm gonna push me? It's not about the city.
Now, mind you, I'm looking with a different lens.
Okay.
You know, for the city that knows me and a city that don't know me, because there's a lot of that out there. Yeah. You know, that's just what it is. You know, it's gonna grow. Yeah. I feel both.
Okay.
I don't feel like, you know, the one thing is relevance. You know, now, you know, you can't let months go by and years go by without putting no music out. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of what people consider being active, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about as the actual crew lifesavers, performing as lifesavers. Versatile tours like Europe, and the world as versatile, right? Rev Shines tours globally, and DJs as Rev Shines. Jumbo is Dr.ama, tours worldwide, doing what I do, DJing, emceeing. You know, another hat I put on is tour manager. Right. Another hat I put on is running front of house. Yeah. Learned all of it. Yeah. So I do, and then teaching. That activity keeps you relevant, but it doesn't always, you know, you don't always remain as the one. Yeah. From everybody, right? Yeah. Because if time goes by, you know, if the scene gets flooded with new cats, you know, how many people skip history class? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cats is like, if it's trending now, if it's relevant now, if somebody's talking about it now, that's all they need to know. I'm just gonna check it. It's too much information. I don't need to go back and know who actually laid the foundation for that. Right. You know, so when I look at it, I feel like, you know, yourself, you know, OG1, Star Child, Nuts, you know, there's a lot of others. Those are, I'm just naming a few. Yeah. Cats that lived it, you know, shouldn't have to remind people. Yeah. You know, my man Verse, Shines. Yeah. You know, Shines is another one. When I walked down the path of what, you know, you asked me about myself, I didn't even plug Shines in the equation. That was a huge, I have to jump in on him real quick. That was a huge addition in terms of expansion and growth because of his knowledge of music.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, speaking to your question, we would have conversations about, respect.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't about, like bowing down to nobody, but it is about, who's really getting opportunities and then extending those opportunities to other people. And we talked about, I was like, that's our role.
Yeah.
That's who we are. We're the Yodas
Right.
of this for Portland.
Right.
And so even if we don't like a style or a sound, it's up to us, to train the young Jedis.
Right.
And so we'd have conversations about that because he would DJ in certain spots, and it'd be some hothead DJ coming up in there like, oh, you're this master collector, and and Shines would come in like, man, I'm not trying to be the grumpy old jazz dude, but you sound like trash.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't necessarily, sometimes he would say it, sometimes he wouldn't. And we'd have those conversations and I'd be like, man, you got to train the Jedis, man. That's just it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's a cat that I feel like he gets his respect now. Mm-hmm. But again, you got young cats that they don't know his history.
Right.
They may know him from Lifesavers, but, you talking about a cat that put in work at a record store that put some of our celebrated producers on to music.
Right.
I'm talking about Dilla.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Pete Rock.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Amir from the Roots. I'm talking about the Beat Nuts. This is a cat that toured the world, Asia with Kenny Dope. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot, and that's talking about his history.
Right.
But I gotta do that because he does his own segment on, right?
Yeah.
And some cats, they may never heard of him before, but just for this.
Yeah. And that, so that it's crazy, bro, because now I've had 2/3 of Lifesavers on Klyph Notes. Mm-hmm. So Shines
is next.
You up next, B.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I had, and that's just, and I think that sometimes maybe that happens with individuals. Again, new Shines from Lifesavers, would see him around, super gracious, like always very, very welcoming. We'd have conversations in passing or whatever. And a few years ago, man, I had an opportunity to sit down. We were in the same place one day, and I had an opportunity to sit down and blew my mind.
Yeah.
The stuff that you're just touching on.
Yeah, I'm not even scratching the surface.
I had no flipping idea his experience and the things that he done. And, you see him, like, his skill set because you see. And he's played everywhere in Portland.
Yep.
But then yes, he has played around globally.
Yep.
But even with that, like, so yeah, Shines, you up next, B. The I think again for me, and I'm at an age now where I feel like I can talk this way.
Sure.
Culturally, it has always been you pass forth knowledge to the youth.
Yeah.
And as youth, you pay respect to your elders.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do. That's what you do as a society. That's what you do as a culture if you want to be healthy. It's just the way it is.
Right.
I think if we take a step back and not even just talk about music, I think if we look at our society, that doesn't necessarily exist anymore. I often say, I'm, getting kind of deep, but I often say there are two areas that are underserved. One is people who suffer from mental health.
Yes, that's big.
Huge.
Yeah.
And the other is our senior population.
Yep.
We throw those people to the side. We put them in the garbage.
Yep.
So now we bring it back home. If we, like you said, if we don't take the opportunity to educate the youth on not this is what you have to do,
right?
But hey, this is, let me show you. I've been down that path.
Here's some tools,
right?
You don't
take them and use them as you wish.
Yeah.
But at least understand that these are the things. And then as youth, even as an older gentleman, I'm gonna respect my elders,
right?
Because they've put forth the work. They've earned that respect,
right?
And I hope that doing things like this, having these sorts of conversations, people will hear this and realize, oh, we're missing something.
Yeah.
When you mentioned New York, the birthplace, man. Right. And not trying to be like anybody, but again, learn.
Inspiration.
Kool Herc gets mad respect.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't change.
None of this would be the course of what exists right now would be very different if there was no Kool Herc.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you talking about, you can liken it to sports. You know what I'm saying? Who's the best player in the world in the NBA or just basketball?
Right.
It's a one-word name, right? He talks about who he studied, not, I know these guys came before me.
Right.
Not just acknowledgement. And I'm not saying that all young cats got to do that,
right,
because that's not, we would be wrong to say that you can only do it this way. You better respect your elders. We can say that, right? But we was like, all right, y'all was all right, but that's old, right? So you have to allow both to breathe. But I'll get back to that word balance, right? In order for it to go forward and not get stagnant and stuck like disco,
right?
I know it's shout out to my cats that play the disco, whatever. Mm-hmm. That wasn't my thing. I felt like music bottomed out. Yeah. It happens like that with every genre of music, right? Because of the lack of what you're talking about. So if you look at it like, let me share these tools with you, right? Yeah. It could be techniques, your format of this show, right? It could be any little thing that, lived experience that you have, just so that you like, I share this with my kids a lot about the word struggle don't have to be a negative. It doesn't have to have the negative connotations that comes with it. That doesn't have to block you. Right. You put the word beautiful in front of that, and I'm like, it's not it's your journey. Mm-hmm. That's what shapes you. Like, let it shape you and take these tools. You don't have to do it how I did it. Right. You don't have to MC. You don't have to make beats. Right. There's so many forms of this. Right. You know what I mean? It's a culture. Yes. Right? Yes. And I think, it's the holidays, so I could talk about recipes. I ain't trying to make us hungry, man. But you look at, when you preparing the meal and you want it to feel a certain way, like authentic, like cats will say like how grandma used to do it, or how auntie used to do it, or how, my uncle, or what, whoever was like one of the cooks of the house. Right. I wish I had those recipes. Yeah. So when we had these conversations, we're saying these tools, you want to know how, like, man, OG, I love, I remember there was a time where I was like, I don't want to be the OG. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to, I'm young forever. That's just, we do that because, that's the spirit of it. But the beauty is somebody has to pass it. Yeah. Somebody, because somebody passed it to us, exactly. Right? And so, OG, I love how you did. I see you out there. You may not have seen me ever check in on the IG or the FB or whatever, on the Twitter, whatever. But I watch what you do. I see you out there. What's the recipe? Right. Really? Yeah. Sit down. Similar to who did I mention earlier?
Like you said
George Clinton.
George Clinton did, right? Absolutely.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be, about what I'm doing, but it could just be, like I referenced teaching and mentoring. You know what I mean? The word branding, your brand, is very important now, right? Because you basically, before it was like, oh, we don't want to sell ourselves, we don't want to sell out, we don't want to. Hip hop to me gave the world, or I ain't gonna say the world, hip hop gave other businesses, gave corporate a new level of marketing, right? Because we was hustling, right? We had to hustle, right? We just took the hustle and moved the music, right? So in terms of what do we do when we leaking? Oh, we know how to do that. Yeah. What do we do when it's bubbling? Yeah. Oh, we know how to do that, right? And they, it's lasted this long. What are y'all doing? What's the recipe? Mm-hmm. Well, we could give it to you, but it's what you do with it. Right. So, no Kool Herc, no hip hop. Right. I was just talking with somebody the other day about, I went and saw the Jay-Z concert, and we were talking about, do you think Jay's career would be the same if Big was still alive? Do you think Jay's career would be the same if Pun was alive? Do you think Jay's career would be the same if Big L was still alive? In Portland, would LS career be the same if there was no La Luna? Would LS career be the same had we decided just to sound like everybody else in the town? Would LS career be the same had we decided not to listen to the Larry Bells? To not listen to the Michael J's. You know what I mean? To not listen to the Marlon McClains and all of the cats in Pleasure and I say that to the youngsters just to say, like, again, you don't have to do it exactly how we did it. You know what I'm saying? But the recipe is right in front of you. You listen to X-Ray, you listen to LS, you listen to whoever, it's Portland. You know what I mean? I jump back to the athlete thing because it's important. You had cats that saw a way to get out and did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna shout my cat because he family. Damon Stoudemire. Terrell Brandon. You know what I'm saying? How many cats can say, I'm from such and such a town and I did that? Right. And there's so many cats here I'm talking about talent. That they got it, they don't know how to get it out. Right? Talk about the recipe.
Truth. Chopping with my man Jumbo. All right, so we've talked about a lot of the history, kind of where you got the bug from, what really jump started what you were doing, and it's always dope to celebrate that.
Oh, here's a part we didn't celebrate.
What's that?
This is one of the most important parts.
What's that?
I jumped in on Shines, but I forgot. I'm gonna get back to me now. The records.
Come on.
The vinyl.
Come on.
Oh, bro. So this is a fun fact for Portland, is that now I talked about how important church was. The role church, being active in church, being active in youth. The skills that it gave myself in terms of how to communicate with people, right? And how to communicate effectively with people. The music, we could talk about the best musicians, we get in musician circles, or just talk about it, best musicians come from such and such a church,
Right.
Well, we took that idea, and I'm not gonna go on record and say we was the very, very, very first, but we were lifesavers from Portland. We're very important to the record scene in terms of sampling gospel music.
Oh, come on.
All right. And I don't know how many of y'all know that or not, but that was one of the unspoken connections that we had with my man XL and Gab with Black Alicious, because they are another hip hop stalwarts that sample gospel records. Right? Funk. Right? And Versatile and myself, we understand, Shines and Mixmaster KD, we understood, this is something else. Cats is sampling jazz, they sampling rock, psych, folk, whatever. Let's sample some gospel records. And I think that also gave our sound an edge, as far as just not different, not new, super new, but it was refreshing. There was a quirkiness to it. There was I think that there was obviously soul in it. But it was interesting. It made it interesting. Like, wait. Because a lot of the lyrics was heavy and heady and style heavy. But then there's this kind of quirky, funky. And now I'm telling you, it's like it's gospel, or it's a children's record. It was very well thought out, and I speak to that because now when you talk about founders, right? You talk about originators, doors kicked down. I speak to that because my crew, we were really, really true to like, we're gonna use the elements, and even if we can open up the door and say, for cats that like I referenced the diggers that used to come to Portland. Portland is like one of the best places on the planet to get records.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
And now the boom is back and all that. And we like, oh, y'all wasn't on. It's been like that.
Right.
Right? For collectors, for connoisseurs, for whatever. Somehow, I don't know how all of these records ended up out here. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there's never been a shortage.
Yeah.
And then you got, shout out to Discogs,
right.
from Portland.
Right.
Ironically, I laugh at that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we didn't directly, give them the idea or nothing like that for any of that. But it's like the importance of that's important to my crew also.
Yeah.
Right. In the larger cities, it was like, of course, records are important. Yeah. Of course, it's record stores. Of course, it's DJs. Just you know what I'm saying. But for here, so for Lifesavers contributed to. I would definitely say, we definitely shaped a model to follow, and I say that just in terms of like you can do it like this. Here's this nice palette or belt of tools to work with. You know what I mean? You want to play keys, you want to do synths, you want to use a drum machine, you want to sample, you want to, here's what we're using, right? And you can hear it, you can feel it, and it's very much the sound. At the time we put that music out, I feel like it's timeless to this point. At the time we put that music out, we felt like we were defining Portland hip hop sound. Yeah. And that, I say that with importance, with stressing the importance of it is that was another acknowledgement globally. When I reference Shines, that allowed him to go DJ globally. Right. You know what I'm saying? That allowed myself to get those calls to produce, a cat like KRS-One, right? Who I was, I'm just like, KRS, what? You shout me out on a record, I got that. Y'all can't tell me nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Working with, not even about name dropping, but just working with some of my heroes. Yeah. And then to end up where some of them cats is opening for my group. Yeah. That was like eye-opening. So I say that to say that in terms of the culture and covering the elements, I appreciate you having me on because, again, I don't feel like we should have to get on and remind people like, yo, you should respect me. You should respect my crew. Nah, it ain't about that. Right. What it's about is, I don't expect nobody to come up and be like, yo, I heard you on XA. Thank you. You do. If you do, it's love. Right, it's nothing. But it's just, I like to say fun facts. It's information. Take it. Run with it. Right. Know that if you got questions about that, I mention that because we still heavy in that. Right. The vinyl, we still heavy. My man Verse is a teacher also. He taught course here in the town. That's right. People hear about like Ninth Wonder teaching, or like Nas, you know what I mean, or even Swizzy. Well, I don't know. Yeah, Swizz sort of not really, but does it. Yeah. But took his to another level, and now he went and got his paper from, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And those are the type of things that you like, yo, right, that's an extension of it. Those allow you to get those calls from those companies to where you get to walk in and they just pay you to throw out an idea. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because you're not following New York. Right. You're not copying LA. Right. Right? You from Portland. Right. And your ideas are brilliant. Right. And it ain't about the bread, but it's about the opportunities that the foundation you laid and the love that you got from the city was a springboard for you to get invited. And now that I'm in those rooms, now that I have those gigs, now that I'm able to relocate and look with a different lens at the city and say, okay, now how can I reach back in and extend those opportunities
Right.
to any of these cats
Right.
who's trying to, you know, whether you're trying to eat off of it, whether you're trying to shape where you're going, you know, whether you just want to pick my brain, or whether I don't even need to say nothing. Let me just hear what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me just, you know, hashtag you.
Yeah.
Follow you, shout you, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We from the same city.
Right.
We speak the same language.
Right.
Let's just connect for a stretch.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, and I think that's one of the things that I hope to see. I think it happens to a certain degree. I hope it continues to happen. And again, to me, it's just about saying Portland is not just this one little piece. It's all encompassing.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the last 10 years.
Right.
It's about all of the and then when you, I really want when there are people, there are movements in Portland that are trying to grow, that are not just about hip hop,
Right.
but who say, look at Nashville.
Yeah.
Like when you say Nashville, okay, boom,
it's history.
I know exactly what
It's
I know
history.
exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
When you say New York, okay, I get
History.
You know, when you say Portland, it should and can be the same thing, but
History.
I think we have to allow the common thread to
Right.
exist,
Right.
and to continue to grow and then be intertwined, where that thread turns into yarn, turns into a rope,
Right.
turns into a steel cable that people cannot help but respect gets thrown around so much, but to a certain degree, respect.
Stay with that word.
Yeah.
Stay with that word. That's important.
Yeah.
Respect. Some people, respect is all you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll put it on the table right now. I know there's so many creative minds, you know, in Portland. And I'm not just talking about hip hop culture, music. I'm talking about just the arts,
Right.
period. People come here to come feel it.
Right.
Because it's its own, it's very authentic. It's very true to Portland.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on the table. You know, there's certain things that have been done for other cities, other groups, other, you know, like their music history.
Yeah.
In terms of the hip hop culture, we don't have an official documentary.
Right.
We don't have that.
Right.
Excuse me. Me and my man Dave were talking about that, and I only shout out his first name. He know I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not trying to put him on blast.
Yeah.
But there was a time where, as a writer, you know, he was just like, Jumbo, they're not trying to really hear that. They don't really. They respect it, but they don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know who they is, but I understand. But I said that should never stop us, because it never has. Right. And he's like, hey, well, when we have it together to do it, and we can do it right, let's make it happen. So I'm putting it on the grill right now. For those listening, for those who will listen, y'all reach out to my man Klyph. and he knows how to reach out to me.
Yeah.
He knows how to get in contact with Nuts. He knows how to get in contact with Verse and all the others that have come through.
Yeah.
And I think it's long overdue, you know, for a proper doc. Because all of these fun facts and these stories, that, you know, it's wonderful just to tell these stories forever and a day. You know what I mean? But how did you feel when you saw Straight Outta Compton?
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
How y'all felt when y'all saw, you know, Pac's bio, when y'all saw, you know, the Notorious, all that. You know what I mean? Like we got our own. You know, it could be one group, it could be the scene. Yeah. Let's show everybody what the scene is about here. Yeah. You know what I mean? We had the funny version.
Yeah.
That wasn't the hip hop culture. We had the funny version that a lot of people hated, but there was a lot of truth in that joint.
Truth.
A lot of truth. Yeah. Grew up around that.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But then there's this other cool part that just they don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, the world don't know, and they want to see it, and they will come here. You know what I mean? If the city want to get behind us, you know what I mean, and back it, let's do that.
Word up. And there's more people who are listening now. You know, when we look at, and let me publicly say thank you so much for coming through and rocking Mic Check. You know,
that was fun.
It was so dope to see you do your thing live in an intimate setting like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was really dope. So thank you. But that came from. I mean, to just keep it 100, that came from a organization as big as McMenamins,
right?
Who, all glory to God, nothing that I did, came to me and said, "Hey, we see the struggle, we have the venues. how can we help? How can we be a part of it?
Partner.
And that's what Mike Check came out. So my point being is people are starting to listen.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a possibility that something like this could actually happen.
It's gonna happen, man. You put the energy out there. That's the way the universe works, man. It's going to happen, and it's going to be great, And I think part of the reason maybe it hasn't happened in full is because we want it to be right.
Yeah,
we want it to be right.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people to contact, right. And again, groups that some cats don't know about.
Right.
There was a couple cats at Mic Check that people in that room don't even know that they had groups that they used to rock, and humbly came and showed their support.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I seen my man shout to Gold Dini.
Yeah, man.
Was in there.
Yeah,
and
man.
I don't know how many cats know.
Right.
I'm like, he could get up there right now and pull out one of the classics and just go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, that any one artist is better than the other, whatever. It ain't about that. It's just, it's too small of a city for you not to know.
Yeah.
You don't know who you rubbing elbows with. Right. You don't know who you chopping it up with, and that's a good thing sometimes. But because it's so rich, and when you connect, them opportunities fall in your lap.
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists who have relocated to Portland and have done really well. I don't need to say their names.
Right.
They know who they are.
Right.
Came from other cities. Maybe it wasn't popping off.
Yeah.
Came to Portland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Career is
on the upper trajectory, hugely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that just speaks to what's bubbling here. I think it's important that we do that because of the when you asked me the question about do you feel like it exists and it's growing, or is there some the hatred pulling it apart?
Yeah.
Do they look at it as it's a novelty? All of those things exist. Mm-hmm. And I think a documentary could be, it could be a look. It would be very, what's the word I'm looking for? I think it'd be a celebration.
Yeah.
It would be a celebration, and I think people would really take it, they would take it more seriously. You wouldn't hear about little hole in the wall spots getting shut down.
Yeah.
Those hole in the wall spots birth legends.
Right.
Think about some of the rock groups that came out of here.
Yeah.
Whatever the genre is, they are doing it.
Well, and it's interesting that we sit here where we do. Once again, big shout out to X-Ray FM for just being gracious, allowing me to do this here.
Definitely.
But X-Ray FM is the whole X-Ray is is giving celebrating the history of X-Ray Cafe.
Wow.
That's where this is from. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
So yes, that's why you celebrate your history, because if we don't celebrate our history and if we don't pass it forward, we literally lose it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
That's a whole part of our culture can be
right.
gone, and that's just we can't allow that to happen.
No, we can't allow that.
Okay.
We won't allow that to happen.
While I have you here,
yes.
I would be remiss if I didn't just ask about we talked a lot about when things first started, there was no social media.
Sure.
Now with the advent of social media and the broad reach that it has,
mm-hmm.
one of the cool things I think that has happened is it's allowed creatives like yourself
mm-hmm.
to it gives people more opportunity to share their art, right?
That's right.
So it used to be before social media, you would have to get a venue someplace if I'm a visual artist to hang my art, right?
Yeah.
Or if I'm a musician, a place to go and play. Now with social media, it gives me an opportunity to put it out there.
Right.
And it also gives me an opportunity to collaborate with people all over the planet, right? Shout out to my man Destro, the project that he did, the last full-length project that he did, producer was from Spain. They never even met.
Right.
And he did a whole project.
Yeah.
But then you also have, I see people who have, who don't have your skill set, right? Where you can do it, you can do many different things. I'm really good with the visual piece,
right?
But I'm not really as good with the musical piece. But I don't really have people in my community that can do the music.
Right.
But now what I'm seeing is that there are actually there are avenues out there where people can capture that, people can get that.
Yeah.
I was reading recently about something new that Facebook is doing,
Mm-hmm.
where they're providing music for people who, like, I got the visuals because I got my GoPro, right? But I don't have the music piece, and I see that there's something. Have you heard about that? Something that Facebook is doing where they're providing music for folks.
Yeah. It's called the Sound Collection.
Okay, word.
And ironically, talking about opportunity, talking about your boy from NEP,
right.
I contributed to that collection.
Oh, word.
So you can go in there, you see the name Jumbo.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, is there another Jumbo? That's your boy.
That's what's up.
So, and it's cool because it is the beauty of doing partnering, collaborating, contributing, whatever format you choose. When you're able to be a part of something like that, not only does it expand, your audience, there's benefits, right? But it also allows you to demonstrate range.
Okay.
Right? So along the journey, again, your boy from the Northeast, that's where I'm from, that's what I rep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about licensing deals.
Okay.
Major licensing deals. You understand what I'm saying? From my basement, from the corners of Alberta and Woodlawn Park, beatboxing and, banging on the lunchroom tables in Grant High School and Wilson High School and Jefferson High School. You know what I'm saying? That led to 15 seconds of music, 30 seconds of music, and making what somebody would make in a year.
Wow, dude.
And that's me sharing like possibilities. Right. And from taking that to, I got to show my guys how to do that. I got to show, the girls how to do that.
Yeah.
Right? My folks, my family, my creatives.
Yeah.
And so that led to mentoring, teaching.
Yeah. And,
the rest of the world is watching.
Right.
The red light is on all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So, you look at a platform like that, they paying attention.
Right.
If you're talking about a platform that sets trends, right? 2 billion followers a day.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily need to be a part of that. I'm going to be a part of that.
That's what's up.
But I'm not just going to do it for trending. I'm going to set it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show another avenue. Like, okay, you got other platforms where you could take any music, and putting music to visuals may not be a thing. The beautiful thing about technology is now everybody can do it. So you can practice on whatever your device is.
Yeah.
The beauty of this is, I know there was a time where, some users would put something up and, maybe they couldn't use it no more. Right. Well, that's changed now. And so that was, part of the idea, that I was introduced to say, hey, we've heard your records.
Yeah.
We've seen you live.
Yeah.
We've seen you speak. In my network, such and such works for other said platform or company, and heard about your ideas and things that you've, laid the foundation for. What do you think about being a part of this? I jumped on it immediately. I'm like, all right, sure.
Yeah.
It's, because it just it sharpens you, not just as a musician, but it sharpens you as an artist, because now you're like, you have the ability to like not just do one thing. Right. And the response has been incredible.
That's what's up.
It was a cat that hit me from Dubai the other day, and I've never been to Dubai. As much touring around the world that we've done, I've never been to Dubai. And the beautiful thing about that platform and social media specifically, this cat is talking to me like we're in the room, like he was at mic check last night. I love the tracks, blah blah blah, but then speaking to me also like he sees the world. You out, you're doing your thing, but keeping it on that level. Keep grinding. Right. You know what I mean? That means a lot. So I would say, when you have opportunities like that, you soak up as much as you can. Yeah. And then, one thing I'll say specifically to the artists in Portland, whatever city, country you're in, even if you don't have the ability and the reach to connect with something like that, build your own.
There you go.
That your idea could be pitched and partnered, licensed, sold, whatever to that company. Because that's all it's about. And that's another discussion on the business part of it. But making those type of connections and collaborations and rubbing elbows with those cats, it teaches you a lot about that part of it. So when I'm coming back to the city talking about, I'm not just talking about I have an idea. Right. Talking about executing the idea. The application is like this. Yeah. The result is this. Yeah. The analytics are this. Right. The beauty is this. Yeah. And simply we can do this. Yeah. It's that. So when you talked about simplifying things, when you can hand it over to people like that and it's like, it can be realized, I want to be a part of that. Who doesn't want to be a part of that?
And that's and I love the fact that you said that when you come back to the city to share that. But I think, it really goes to the foundation of this conversation really is we have to build community with one another, and there's a right and a wrong way to do that. True. And when we do it the right way, then you have an opportunity to pay it forward and to receive from those who have gone before. So that's what's up. Yeah. Bruh.
Did we do it?
Bruh.
Did we do it?
We did part one.
Part one. All right.
We did part one.
Nice.
Jumbo the Garbage Man, Dr.ama. So if people want to just, see more of what you're doing, connect and just continue to enjoy the aspect of your life where you share art. Yeah. What are the best ways to do
that? Catch me on the IG. Jumbo is Dr.ama. You catch me on FB. Jumbo is Dr.ama. The beautiful thing is a lot of my cats that I build with around here, they're like, man, where you been? What you doing? You be quiet. What's up with the group? Touring a lot.
Yeah, because the last time I saw you were in town with
Black Alicious. Yeah, and Quantum Crew. Yep. Still, that's gonna continue. Word. That's gonna continue. That don't stop. Again, talking about blessings, man. I had never been to Hong Kong before. Word. So I was able to spend my birthday in Hong Kong on stage. You know what I mean? Wow. From the basement. Yeah. For me, it's huge. That's a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a lot. And it was special because I was able to do it with cats that I've been doing this with from jump. Right. Now, one of my cats wasn't able to be there, but it was special. And so it was my birthday. It was, it was all supposed to be all about me. Yeah. So I took that moment just to show, like, there's other things that's way more important than this music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I proposed on that stage in another country. Word? You understand what I'm saying? That's how this music thing impacts your life. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? So the opportunities and where the pathways that it'll take you on, y'all, I mean, it's really endless. It's really endless. It's not rocket science. Yeah. It's not about figuring it out either. Yeah. It's just whatever the idea is, finesse it, flesh it out, and just do it, run with it.
Yeah.
You know, learn a little, study a little, ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Look at whoever you your hero is or that you champion. Look at their format. Look at how they do it. You don't have to copy it. You don't have to ape it and blueprint it. You know, do it exactly how they do it, but let it inspire you to perfect your presentation and run with that.
That's what's up.
Run with that.
That's definitely sound advice, and I think it's louder than words. It's a living example, because the history that you gave, that is what you guys did, and as a result of that, look at where you folk are right now. So
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm really, I love coming home, man. I love it.
That's what's up. I have a gift, brother. I got the official DJ Klyph enamel pen.
Oh, I'm popping
Let
this
you
on
rock
right
that.
now.
You know what I'm saying? Rock that
we on
wherever
camera?
you are. Yeah, man. You know, we got you on camera right now,
you
man.
See, my jacket is blank. I usually have some kind of pin patch, something. You go ahead, rock this like this. The new. This is the Klyph Notes.
That's what's up, B. I definitely appreciate that. So y'all remember, you can get Klyph Notes everywhere. It's we've been on Spotify now for the last month or so, but you can also subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. So definitely subscribe, share, comment, rate, do all of that, so we can continue to bring you these great conversations with so many wonderful people. And then definitely follow my man Jumbo and stay up on some of the things that he has going. And for real, let's build, man. If you have ideas or ways that we could get this documentary thing happening, man, let's definitely try to make that a reality.
New music will be available.
See, bro, I didn't want to put the pressure on, you know what I'm saying? So
I just had to slide it.
I wasn't going to say nothing. Okay.
Ain't no pressure.
We got it now. We got it. Come on, bro. What's up?
I mean, it's time. You know, it's time. I mean, you know, I talked about my crew. You know, everybody is doing, you know, the Voltron can't be strong unless each part is, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Way
too long. Couple solo projects coming out this year.
Word.
That I'm real excited about.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So whatever you thought I sounded like, you know, in this version and that version, this is the new and next version. It's real exciting. That's where if you hear me reference the Dr.ama, that's another character.
Yeah.
That's an extension of the brand of the individual, the character.
Okay.
You know, that's the NEP that I grew up in, the Solomon that they know. Dr.ama Solomon gonna show up in the Dr.ama character.
Word.
Yep, he been all over in Jumbo. Jumbo his own thing.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a Jumbo project, a few of those.
Okay.
Then there's gonna be the Dr.ama project.
Okay.
And then there's also a series in the works.
That's what's up.
Can't talk about that too much yet because we're still working on it. But a lot of wonderful things, man. And then again, this next year. This 2018 is going to be the relaunch of Quantum Projects. And,
Word.
Yes. And
man, y'all getting some exclusives on this one.
Yeah, exclusives, man. And a lot going on. A lot of new music. A lot of the cats know the roster. Check it out.
Right.
I'm not even gonna run down the names, but
right.
You know, your boys are part of that.
That's what's up.
And it's gonna be exciting, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely got to do a part 2 because it sounds like that you're gonna have a whole lot to talk about.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I also do this weekly radio show, Welcome to the Neighborhood. So as you prepare to start sliding music out,
it's nothing. It's nothing.
Okay.
You get the exclusives. We already talked about some of the, you know, I talked about the records and the vinyl.
Right.
You know, got some, you know, some exclusive mixes.
Come on.
Throw that at you. Boom, boom. You
That's
know?
what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, shoot, like I was excited. Now I'm really excited. My man Jumbo, brother, this will drop after January 1st. So Happy New Year to you.
Likewise.
Congratulations on the family doing well.
Yeah.
On the career continuing to move forward. Thank you again so much for what you've done for the scene.
Yes, man.
But also for the genre.
Yes.
And man, just continue to look forward to building with you.
Word.
You know, as we
I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely.
Inviting me to the mic check. You know, sometimes it's just a small little, hey man, what you want to come through?
That's what's up.
Not only do I want to come through,
yeah.
I want to rock that.
Hold up. Now that's on tape now. Star, you hear that? You hear that?
Oh, well, you want to do the X-ray? Yeah. Oh, well, let's do a part 1. Well, let's do a part 2.
Word up.
Let's, it's nothing, man. It's nothing. I mean, it's let's talk about it. Let's have it. Let's do it. It's action.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Big ups to my folk over at Acapella Apparel, acapella.com, AKEPELE. Go check them out. They have such dope product, and be on the look really, really soon for some extensive collaborations with them. And yeah, man, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. God bless you all. And until we do this again, take care of yourselves. Peace.